Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Choices and Acting on Your Intuition. Do you find that you know the right things to do, but you find choosing something else? Do you have a hard time making decisions? Are you afraid of change? Hi, I'm Miss Chrissy D with the P&K Files, your emergency kit to life. And this is Darlene Turner with Victim to Victory, and together we're the perspective. And before we get started today on our topic, I just want to say that our show is in a sequence. So if you're just joining us, I really encourage you to go back to the beginning. Our shows are really short, so you can get the help and the tips. Go back to the beginning and listen to it so that you can catch up. If you're not where we are right now, that's okay. Sometimes I'm not where we are. So it's really helpful to go back and get the tips, and I really encourage it.
Hi, everyone. That's so appreciate that, Miss Chrissy D, because it is so true. And the first 5 shows are talking about calming the nervous system, and that is absolutely key. And the first step to anything is we can't listen to our intuition. It's hard to do anything if we're in overwhelm and our nervous system is on high alert. So those are the first keys. Last week, we talked about the intuition, how it works, and just wondering how everybody did. Did you try it out right with your non-dominant hand to see what messages come out? This week, we're going to go a little deeper, and it's sometimes the hardest part because that little voice of our intuition is pretty quiet, it's pretty small, and this other part of our brain is pretty loud and pretty big. And the intuition is always pushing us to get out of our comfort zone, to stretch, to trust. And these things are sometimes really hard to do.
Yeah, you know what? It sounds really easy. Oh, just trust your intuition. If you're like me, you're come from a different place, just doing that is actually really hard. You don't have to trust that gut. I've got it. I can hear it. I can feel it. I can feel the tap on my head. I can feel the burning in the gut, my intuition. But maybe I don't trust it enough to actually change the decision. I would just go along with what everybody else wants, do what I think is the right thing to make everybody happy, and then just spend the rest of the time fixing it, trying to keep everybody happy. And yeah, it hasn't worked yet. So really got to listen to that intuition, but it is hard to take that first step to even trust that that's the right thing. We don't have that file that says your intuition is right. Trust it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for bringing that up because, yeah, we don't want anybody to go into any kind of judgment around this or any self-criticism because that's really what we're trying to get you out of. And to deeply love and accept yourself just where you're at, and it's okay. And so a big part of this trust in this process is knowing it's a process, it's a practice. And the more we can simplify your life, the more you can kind of slow down your life, the more you can take that time to do that inner journey inside and connect to your heart. It's like a muscle, really, because if you haven't even heard it, haven't connected to it, it's not like all of a sudden you got a one-way phone line to your intuition. It's going to take practice. It's going to take an actual wanting to and asking to say, you know what, I really want to connect to my intuition, and then waiting and listening for that. That's really a first step, I believe, is to give yourself that space and understanding that it takes time and it is a process.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have an example here I just wanted to bring in my life where I was for the first time actually in one of the best relationships I've ever been in. And we got along well. It's my dog whining.
Louis.
We got along really well. He treated me so really well, and life was really good for the first time ever. But there was something inside me that just said, "You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. You can't grow to your full potential here. You're stuck. It's not moving anyway. You need to move. You need to go. And for 6 months, I ignored that. But every full moon came along. It was just like this force inside of me saying, you got to go. You got to go. And finally, about the 6th month, it was so uncomfortable that I actually just couldn't stay because this something inside of me just kept pushing and pushing that I had to go. So I left that relationship. And when I had was in it, I had given most of my stuff away because I moved in with him. And meantime, my daughter had moved out because she graduated and my dog had passed. So I literally, for the first time in my life, I was free of any responsibility. And my guidance said, just move. So I moved to Vernon, and I was in a course in Vernon. So it was kind of an easy choice, that one. But 2 months later, I met Michael, my soulmate, and my whole life just opened right up. He is so supportive. He is the guy behind the scenes in this show, and I want to, honor him because he is the love of my life, and he is so supportive. And if I wouldn't have listened to that little voice and that push, there's somebody else, there's something more, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at now. So
That's pretty huge, I think, on a few different levels. And that's a great testament to going inside yourself to make choices instead of just reacting on the energy that you have. You might be exhausted, tired, whatever, and then something happens and you're not listening to your intuition and you just make a decision flying off the cuff. You actually went in and you actually listened to your intuition. And two things: to walk away from a perfectly good relationship because your intuition was telling you to do something. I'm like, wow, that is amazing. That's like jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. Why would you do it, right? But you actually have trained yourself to listen to that. I think that's awesome. And the other thing I really liked there that you said was you didn't have anything. Your daughter had moved out, your dog had passed, you'd given everything away. So you're looking at it as freedom. Woohoo, let's go do this. I'm free. I might tend to go, oh my God, my dog's died, my kids have moved out. I've lost everything. What's gonna happen to me? So it's great to hear that, and go inside and go, okay, what's holding me back? I don't have any responsibilities anymore. And if you do have responsibilities, I guess it would be fair to say make some time so that you have time without your responsibilities to be able to listen to your intuition and make those choices.
yeah, that's a really good point because everybody is at different stages here, and that's what we want to honor. There's some maybe at home with kids, and it's not like you can just up and leave your life. But I was just at this turning point in my life, and there just was no ignoring where I needed to go, and it was a force that pushed me. So yeah. And let me just say, it was not easy. Like I said, it took me 6 months. And even after I left, I went through such despair. I hurt him so bad. And and how I felt about what I had done, because it just literally blindsided him that he was. But the thing is that sometimes when we free ourselves, we free the other person. And literally 2 months later, he met somebody else, and he is happily, as far as I know, with her, and everything's absolutely worked out. So, when we are in a situation that isn't a match, whatever it is, relationship, job, whatever it is, and it's not a match, know that there's something else out there for you, and whatever this is something better for it as well, or letting it go and be on its own journey, because we
Right.
can hold each other back sometimes in that. So yeah.
And ourselves.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring in another kind of a layer to this, is about that calming the nervous system down so that you can hear that voice. I had an image given to me this morning about when we are in fear and anxiety, and that it was shown to me, it was like a fire, right? So if we add in another fuel to the fire, another log of something that puts us into anxiety or into fear, then that fire is going to start roaring and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But if we stop adding fuel to that fire, stop putting another log on, it'll slowly dissipate down and become just ashes, right? So,
Right. Like
um,
me saying, oh my God, what's going to happen? I have nothing. Another log on the fire, more fuel on the fire.
yeah,
Yes.
it absolutely feeds into that. So,
Right.
whatever that is to create calm waters, if you can think of just that calm waters, maybe it's a hot bath, maybe you have that anxiety and that energy in your body, put on some dance music and just move your body and dance. And music is awesome to switch your energy and your mood and release. Or maybe it's that just nice calming music so that your body can just like, relax and just go into the music.
I crank the music and sing and dance all over the house. That's how I do it. And
Yeah.
I'd like to say, while we're talking about the anxiety and the panic attacks, when you've had something happen and that gets created in you, it doesn't mean that that's going to be the future, right? So I right now know those feelings of anxiety and panic attacks, and trying to change it. It doesn't mean that's going to be my future. Of all of that, all of this going inside and doing all of these things is to help alleviate that, so that we can change what's coming up for us, putting out different things.
And like you said about that file system is creating that new file. So it's going to be a process. Like I said, it's
Right.
when you're having those thoughts or that criticism or that judgment, it's like before you add another log on to something else, just like, whoa, I'm creating this new file where it is, maybe it's just whatever it is for you. It could be peaceful, it could be worth, it could be whatever, and just re-switching your brain back to this. Oh, right, I got to make this new file for it,
I'm
and
worthy of being calm. I'm
yeah.
worthy of not having to live with this. I'm worthy of being okay. I'm
Hmm.
worthy of helping other people and it being okay. Moving forward.
Yeah. And I want to bring in real quick here because I know we're getting on our 15 minutes, but there is a lot of uncertainty out in the world. There's a lot of fear and anxiety, and it's like high. We're in a place that we've never been before. It's
Yeah.
unknown,
Yeah.
and know that. So that, you know what, you can just choose to be that calm or choose to be kind to another person or choose, something different. Every
Yeah.
moment you have a choice to choose something different, whether it's a thought, a word, or an action. Yeah.
Really good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So, um, following that, what's our tips for this week?
Well, tip one is, of course, your breath again, but it's, it's
Always
when you're
tip
going to make,
one.
yeah, when you're going to make a decision on something, if you only can shallow breathe, then that's not really a clear alignment with your inner voice for your decision. So before making a decision, give yourself a nice deep breath. And if you can expand and open your lungs, then maybe you need to take about 3 or 4 of those breaths so that you can expand and then decide from there. So that's my tip one. And this is especially if you're stressed or anxious, because we want to bring down that nervous system.
And
And
it
then,
does work. It sounds simple, but it is simple to do, but it works.
yeah. And then my tip two is asking yourself a few questions. Now, is this decision in a place that is loving for me and in harmony with my life, or is it all about somebody else or something else, and again giving yourself away, or is it built on that old file system or that old foundation? So really asking and looking at a few of these things around your intuition and your choice so that it is in alignment with where you want to go with your new foundation. And my third tip is be the change you wish to see in the world. So that's what I was talking about. Every moment we have a choice. We can be rude or angry, or we can just switch it up and do an act of kindness. Because usually I think from my experience and other people, if we're really wrapped up in our world and we're anxious, sometimes just doing something kind feels so good that it actually switches our day. Just even smiling at somebody and they smile back, you could change their whole day. So know that you do make a difference and you can create change in the world. We can all walk toward what we want rather than what we had.
I love that one. I actually have a t-shirt that says be the change. If,
Nice.
you know, when I was working on big things, people are like, oh, it's so much work. No, if everybody does their little one part, it can change everything. So thank you for those tips. Thanks everybody for joining us. As usual, we're going to keep this short and sweet so that everybody has the time to stop and get these valuable tools. So join us every Sunday at 10 o'clock and tell your friends to come and join us every Sunday at 10 o'clock on the new perspective on trauma, abuse, chronic pain, and the steps to a thriving and healthy life. We will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.